So the last thing about inequality is about intra-household inequality and how the effect this has on gender equality. Okay, so intra-household inequality is inequality that occurs within the household. So even after once we look at the household, well, do the members of the household have equal access to the consumption and the investment that's going on in the household, or is it reserved so that certain members have much more and certain other members have much less, right? So this kind of inequality will be missed by the household level measures of inequality that are common, right? So this income that's coming to the household, it's not going to be equally distributed to everyone in the household in many cases, especially if there's a strong level of gender bias in the society. And so some examples of this that we see in the world, well, again, this is more concentrated in certain countries and maybe a lot less of this going on in other countries. But we might see that boys are more likely to be given nutritious food. So they might actually see a difference in diet, and if they do household level studies between boys and girls. They may be more likely to be taken to the doctor when they get sick, and they might be more likely to be sent to school, especially when we get to upper levels of school. Now, this is in many parts of the world is probably less than you might imagine, because as you saw from the Gapminder survey, and as you can, when you maybe can do some research about this, in many countries the gap, for example, between boys and girls in terms of schooling is not much, and it's narrowed considerably. But there are countries where this is quite significant, and in those countries you would expect to see gaps between boys and girls in terms of their enrollment in schooling. Then in some cases, the household might have sufficient resources, but it also might go to not just children, so it's not just investment in the future, it also might be current consumption for adults. So this can be adult females not getting adequate nutrition, or maybe not having control of money that they can go to the doctor when they're sick. And in some societies, it's not necessarily people who are working age adults. In some societies, this is the elderly, and it's particularly female elderly. So this is an issue that some of you might be very interested in. It's a very important issue. I'm not going to cover it so much right now, partly because there's just so much other stuff to cover in this unit. But I just wanted to point you to this idea so that if you're interested, you could come back and look at this in your research. There's two writings, one by Esther Duflo, Gender Equality and Development, and another, Amartya Sen, More Than 100 Million Women Are Missing. These are two people I would point you to as a start if you're interested in looking at this issue of intra-household inequality.